This title wasn't written, you would deliver. It descended like lightning into the atmosphere of your life, carrying with it the weight of divine urgency and spiritual consequence. This is not a random phrase. This is not the product of imagination. This is a prophetic headline released from the higher realms, timed with precision, arriving in the exact moment your soul was primed to receive it. You did not scroll upon this by mistake. You were drawn into alignment. You were summoned by a spiritual authority far greater than the distractions around you. Heaven is moving, and this message is the spiritual intersection your spirit had been crying for in silence. Here is a message that needed to find you before the hour closes, before the day ends, before that voice makes its way back into your emotional space. Something is circling. Something from your past is preparing to re-enter with new language, but old intentions. You have been visited because the unseen is trying to warn you. There is a familiar voice preparing to speak, and that voice carries not restoration, but a test. You are being cautioned with holy urgency, not because you are weak, but because your light is growing stronger, and what once camouflaged itself as comfort now returns as interference. You have heard whispers in your dreams. You felt the tug in your gut. And now, this message arrives as your confirmation. A divine presence has been dispatched on your behalf. Whether it be your guardian angel, a righteous ancestor, or I, Archangel Michael, I have come to shield you in wisdom and armor you in discernment. The time is now. You must not mislabel this return as reconciliation. It is not revival, it is bait. And before the day ends, you must choose alignment over attachment, peace over persuasion, clarity over confusion. Because what is approaching is cloaked in warmth, but carries a toxin of old cycles. You must listen closely, because the voice may sound familiar, but the offer it brings will pull you back into what heaven has already delivered you from. Say or type 911 to declare this moment a divine emergency alignment. 911. I receive the warning. I'm protected. I'm prepared. You're not imagining this. You're not overthinking, overfeeling, or overreacting. What you've been sensing in the shadows of your soul, what's been echoing behind the veil of your dreams, is real. And I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to confirm it. I speak now not from a place of earthly suggestion, but from divine authority. You were summoned to this moment. This is your divine interruption. This is your sacred encounter with the truth you've been afraid to speak but have always known. The voice is coming, and before the day ends, so too will the illusion it carries, if you choose to see. The heavens have aligned to bring you to this very moment. There has been a disruption in the flow of your peace, a spiritual interference growing louder with each silent cry you've released. That unease in your spirit, that pull in your stomach, that trembling sense that something unseen is nearing, is not paranoia. It is prophecy. The vibration of this moment has cracked open the veil, and I have been dispatched, sword drawn, shield raised, to speak into your atmosphere with commanding truth. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are being awakened. This is not entertainment. This is not information. This is intervention. Something is trying to wrap itself in the fabric of your past, hoping to re-enter your life cloaked in nostalgia. It will use words that sound familiar. It will wear a tone that uses to soothe you. But beneath the comfort is a contract, an energetic agreement waiting to be reactivated. This is why you felt the shift. This is why you've been drawn here now. You are in a prophetic window, the sacred countdown. Before the day ends, this voice will make its move. And when it does, you must be fortified, clear, and ready. You were not called to this message by chance. Heaven has intervened. The divine council has released this revelation with your name written upon it. The ancestors who prayed for your freedom, the angels who fight for your clarity, the spirit that groans on your behalf, have all spoken in unity. Warn them. Prepare them. Remind them of who they are. Because a test is nearing, and it wears the disguise of affection. But do not be deceived. The enemy often speaks through the mouths of those we once trusted, and the danger isn't always in the tone. It's in the timing. The sacred moment is not about fear, it's about fortification. You are not being hunted, you are being positioned. You are not being punished, you are being protected. And though the voice may return with apologies or promises, resentment, it will not return with alignment. You are not the same person who once needed that connection. You are no longer chained to the familiar frequency of survival. You have risen, and this message confirms it. Heaven knows the depth of your heart. I see your loyalty, your longing, your softness. But I also see the purpose burning inside you, the divine assignment that cannot be delayed another season. That is why you are being prepared. This is the spiritual briefing before the emotional ambush. And now, you must listen with spirit, not just with ears. Because discernment is your defense, and silence may be your greatest weapon. Let nothing old re-enter through the door your growth has closed. You are not here to beg for peace. You are here to embody it. You are not here to revisit the old cycle. You are here to complete it. And you are not here to guess. You are here to know. As I speak, a shield is forming around you. Your spirit is being armed, and your clarity is being sharpened like a sword. When that voice returns, you will not tremble. You will recognize. You will not open the door. You will honor your threshold. And you will not fear the test. You will pass it. Say or type 333 now to align with divine truth and angelic power. 333. I am not imagining this. I am spiritually awake and divinely guarded. There is something you need to see clearly now, because it's been hidden in plain sight. The interference that has been draining your energy, delaying your blessings, and clouding your clarity did not come dressed as danger. No, it came dressed as care. It came dressed as support. It came in the form of someone who once called you family, someone who once claimed to love you, someone who once offered you help while secretly envying the light you carry. And now, as this voice prepares to return before the day ends, the veil must be torn completely. You have not been crazy. You have not been paranoid. What you felt was not confusion. It was a warning. What you experienced was not mixed signals. It was a calculated distortion meant to keep you tethered. There was someone who always seemed to come through at the right time, someone whose words were soothing but whose presence left you spiritually unsettled. Someone who pretended to uplift you while quietly anchoring you to cycles of doubt. And now, heaven is exposing it. Because they are coming again, and this time, the offer will seem pure, but it is poisonous. And your destiny cannot afford another entanglement. This was not just emotional sabotage. It was spiritual warfare. The delay in your progress, the heaviness you couldn't name, the loss of momentum that seemed to hit you just after reconnecting with them, that was not accidental. That was energetic theft. They fed off your faith. They drew power from your presence, and they masked their envy and encouragement. But heaven has seen it. I have seen it. And now, the interference must be named. You are not wrong to distance yourself. You are not heartless to protect your peace. And you are not cold for choosing clarity over codependency. Understand this now. Not everyone who once loved you is qualified to walk with you into this next chapter. Some came into your life as lessons, not lifelines. And the one preparing to return before the day ends was a divine lesson in disguise. They were sent to teach you the sacred difference between emotional attachment and spiritual alignment. You were never meant to carry them forever. You were meant to release them when the season shifted. And now that the cycle is trying to restart, you must remember why it ended. Their return will come cloaked in emotional language. They'll remind you of good memories. They'll speak with softness. They'll mirror your growth, your words, your path. But look deeper. That's not growth. It's mimicry. That's not healing. It's strategy. Because the closer you get to divine breakthrough, the louder old voices become. Why? Because darkness doesn't want to lose its access point. And for too long, This individual had spiritual access to your life through emotion. But today the breach is being sealed. You've always felt the contradiction. You've always sensed the drain after the calls. You've questioned why you felt lighter when they disappeared and heavier when they returned. That's because they were not carrying your healing. They were feeding off your energy. And heaven, in divine timing, is revealing it now so that you can finally sever the tie with clarity, not guilt. Do not apologize for protecting your spirit. Do not feel bad for saying no without explanation. You are not obligated to entertain what God is removing. Remember this: when someone constantly feels entitled to your space, even after they've disrupted your peace, they are not returning out of love. They are returning out of habit. You must not confuse comfort with compatibility. You must not confuse familiarity with fate. The interference is real, and it's coming again. But this time, you will not be deceived. This time, you will see clearly. This time, you will choose freedom. Say or type 444 to seal divine protection around your energy field. 444. I break the pattern. I reject the interference. I protect my peace. Let me now confirm what your spirit already knows but your mind may have struggled to accept. The signs were never random. The symbols were never accidental. What you have been experiencing has been divine communication. A higher frequency has been trying to reach you, through dreams, through numbers, through nature, through physical sensations. And now, I come to tell you this with full authority. That was not coincidence. It was confirmation. Each sign was a whisper from the divine, guiding you gently but persistently toward this very moment. You remember the dreams. The snake slithering through your subconscious, silent but threatening. The doors that opened but led into nothingness. The water that rose around you but never consumed you. The fire that appeared, not to burn you, but to purify. These were not just dreams. These were messages. Visions placed in your sleep to prepare your discernment, to heighten your awareness. When you saw the snake, it was the spirit of deception trying to announce its presence. When you found yourself walking through endless doors, it was the symbol of auctions without substance, of paths you were not meant to trust. And when the water rose, heaven was showing you your resilience. You were being trained in the spirit, even while your body slept. And the numbers, they've been chasing you for a reason. 111, 333, 555. You've looked at the clock at the same time too many days in a row for it to be random. You've noticed license plates, phone numbers, receipts that echo these patterns. That was heaven's language. 111. Divine alignment. 333. The presence of the ascended masters. 555. Radical change approaching. These were not digits. These were declarations. They were signs to your subconscious that heaven had you under surveillance, that nothing was going unnoticed, that even in the silence, the angels were speaking. Have you felt exhausted after certain dreams? Have you woken up at 3:33 a.m. without any logical reason? That is because the spiritual realm has been knocking. Your awakening has been active. The sudden burn in your palms, the chills that move down your spine without cold, the moments of deep fatigue when you're around certain people. These are physical indicators that your spirit is in activation and warning mode. You are more sensitive because your calling is more serious. You are feeling more because you are being equipped to perceive what words can no longer disguise. And nature, yes, even the creatures have carried heaven's messages. The sudden appearance of birds circling near your window. The butterflies that land and linger just a little longer than they should. The cats that watch you like guardians. These were not random encounters. The birds symbolized messages coming. The butterflies, a transformation unfolding. The cats, watchers of energy, guardians of thresholds. The signs are all around you, and they have been repeating themselves, intensifying, showing up in multiple forms to prepare you for the return of that familiar voice, the one that carries a dangerous offer. You must not ignore what has already been confirmed. The broken objects that fell at your feet, the lights that flickered when you spoke their name, the moments when the energy shifted in the room and you felt it in your chest. You are not broken. You are not crazy. You are spiritually sensitive, and the spiritual realm has been working overtime to alert you. That voice is coming, but you are not Hodofgari, because Spirit has been equipping you, and everything you've experienced, every spiritual sign you've received, had been heaven preparing you not to fear, but to discern. When the voice speaks, your spirit will already know, and when the offer comes, your intuition will rise like a wall of fire. That is the power of alignment. That is the protection of prophecy. Say or type 555 to agree with divine change and prophetic insight. 555. I receive the signs. I walk with clarity. I move in divine confirmation. The mask is falling. Even now, as you listen, spiritual pressure is building. The divine clock is ticking toward a moment of exposure that has already been set in motion by heaven. You don't have to force it. You don't have to dig for it. You don't have to beg for truth, because truth is already rising like steam from a boiling cauldron. You were never meant to fight this in the physical. This unveiling, this divine unmasking, is spiritual, and it is happening right now. I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to tell you this plainly. The veil of deception is thinning, and the voice that once manipulated your heart will now betray itself through its own words. Pay attention. They will say too much. They will slip up in their silence. They will contradict the story they told you before. A dream will come. A conversation will echo back into your memory with new clarity. Something they said months ago will suddenly make perfect sense. The revelation is not coming through confrontation. It's coming through divine orchestration. This is how heaven works. It does not need to shout. It does not need to storm. It reveals what needs to be seen when your spirit is finally ready to believe what your heart has resisted. The confession might not come in the form of an apology. It may come in the form of a mistake. They'll forget the lie they told. They'll post the wrong thing. They'll be seen in a moment they thought was hidden. Or perhaps they'll come back too confidently, not realizing that your discernment has already upgraded. You no longer hear the same way. You no longer react the same way. What used to pull you into emotional confusion now sounds like an alarm bell. That is growth. That is clarity. That is divine preparation. Heaven is already moving. The angels have already whispered the plans of your enemies into the ears of the righteous. Divine justice does not sleep, and the Spirit of truth is now walking into every room where your name has been spoken. Every plot spoken in secret will be revealed under divine light. The energy behind every flattery, every compliment, every I miss you, will be exposed, and you won't have to ask for it. You will feel it. You will know. This is the shift you've been sensing. This is the lifting of the fog. Do not panic when the truth surfaces. Do not run when the mask falls. Stand still. Be unmoved. For you are not losing something, you are being liberated. You are not watching someone fall. You are watching divine alignment rise. What once deceived you is now powerless. The cords are being cut, the energy severed, and the influence neutralized. This is spiritual surgery. What doesn't belong can no longer cling to you. And those who clung to your light without honoring your soul are being removed, not for punishment, but for purification. You don't need to explain yourself to them. You don't need to justify your distance, your silence, your peace. Because silence is not weakness, it's a weapon. And in this season, the less you say, the louder your clarity speaks. Let them wonder. Let them guess. You are not hiding. You are healing. You are not ignoring. You are ascending. And your elevation requires spiritual insulation. This is not isolation. This is consecration. So do not reach back. Do not look back. Do not try to fix what heaven is undoing. The mask is falling for a reason, You are not being cruel, you are being called. And your calling cannot coexist with counterfeit comfort. That familiar voice is coming, and they will try to convince you that they've changed. But the truth has already changed you, and because of that, you will see through what once blinded you. Say or type 111 to align with divine clarity and the path of exposure. 111. I welcome the truth. I trust divine timing. I stand in my light. Let's speak honestly now, because I know what's been weighing on your heart. You have lost time. You have lost energy. You have lost versions of yourself that you can never quite get back. The sabotage didn't just come with confusion. It came with a cost. And heaven acknowledges it. I, Archangel Michael, declare this plainly so that you know the divine has not overlooked your pain. Something was taken from you. Something sacred. Something pure. Your trust was misused. Your patience was exploited. And your open heart became a place where manipulation was allowed to linger far too long. But even in the delay, there was protection. And even in the silence, there was divine recalibration. You must understand this now. Not everything you missed was a loss. Some delays were not a punishment. They were a preservation. What seemed like rejection was redirection. What felt like failure was sacred pause. Yes, you were ready to launch, ready to love, ready to soar. But the interference would have contaminated the very blessing you were being prepared to hold. So heaven stepped in. And what looked like stagnation was really insulation. You were being shielded in plain sight. The door that didn't open wasn't denial. It was divine mercy. Because had you walked through it with the wrong spirit or the wrong voice at your side, you would have suffered destruction instead of elevation. There were promotions that passed you by. Relationships that shattered without warning. Moments that felt like betrayal from life itself. You questioned, why me? Why now? What else could I have done? But now you know, it was never about your worth. It was about divine timing. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. And the preparation had to happen in secret, away from the ones who were only drawn to your light but not your calling. The delay wasn't wasted. It was orchestrated. Some of you cried through seasons where everyone else seemed to be thriving. You watched others receive what you were praying for, wondering if God had forgotten you. But beloved, listen, heaven does not forget what it promises. The divine delay with the soil where your wisdom was planted. Your patience grew roots. Your spirit grew teeth. And now, what once would have broken you will pass by without shaking you. The delay was the detox. It filtered out the counterfeit, the opportunists, the energetic thieves. And now you are ready, not just to receive but to sustain what is coming. Do not weep over what you thought you lost. Because nothing truly aligned with your destiny can be stolen. It can only be postponed until the right version of you emerges. You're not just getting back what was taken. You're receiving what couldn't be given to the unhealed you. You're stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't just attract blessings but protects them. And that is what the enemy feared most. Not your past, not your tears, but your arrival, your clarity, your transformation. So if the delay broke your heart, understand, it also built your discernment. If the betrayal crushed your trust, know this, it strengthened your vision. You see more now. You feel more now. And you will never again confuse closeness with alignment. You were never denied. You were divinely held. And now that the interference is being removed, the stream of blessing is being released. Not as compensation, but as completion. The delay wasn't an accident. It was the divine recalibration of your timeline. Say or type 777 to align with divine completion and recovery of what was delayed. 777. I reclaim what was mine. The delay was divine. I am ready for restoration. And now, beloved, we enter the sacred space, the place your soul has longed to feel again. The moment of breakthrough. The invisible weight is lifting. The pressure is easing. Your lungs are inhaling peace where they once knew only panic. This is not imagination. This is manifestation. The shift is happening. Not around you, but within you. Something in your spirit is no longer in agreement with what used to bind you. And that inner refusal, that holy defiance, is the sound of breakthrough. You may not feel thunder. You may not hear trumpets. But do not be deceived by the silence. This shift will not be loud. It will be sacred. It will come like the first deep breath after long restraint. It will arrive like a moment of clarity in the middle of confusion. It will feel like standing in a room where the air has finally been cleared. You'll know it by the tears that flow without reason. You'll know it by the sudden release in your chest. You'll know it when the memory returns and no longer has power to hurt you. That is how deliverance feels, not always dramatic, but always divine. The one who once kept you confused has grown silent. And that silence is not absence, it's spiritual retreat. They can no longer access the same spiritual space as you. Heaven has sealed certain connection. Conversations are dropping off. Emotional cords are untangling. And you, beautiful soul, must resist the urge to chase closure. The saboteur may not confess. They may not apologize. They may not even realize what they've lost. But none of that is your responsibility. You are not obligated to reopen what God has closed. You are not called to investigate, only to elevate. You are rising now, not in noise but in alignment. Your inner world is reorganizing itself. You're noticing peace that doesn't need permission. You're finding joy without a source. You're no longer haunted by the desire to prove your worth. That is spiritual maturity. That is elevation. You are no longer vibrating at the same frequency as the interference. That's why it feels distant. That's why it feels quiet. You are not losing them. You are outgrowing the wound they once fit inside. Don't fear the stillness. Don't question the quiet. It's not emptiness, it's insulation. Heaven is wrapping you in a cocoon of clarity. You are being repositioned. Your spirit is resting, not retreating. The new season doesn't require striving. It requires receiving. And this energy shift is more than emotional relief. It is divine positioning. The way you see yourself is changing. The way you hear spirit is changing. The way you move is becoming more intentional. That is the sign that the breakthrough has landed. This is your energetic healing. You may feel the need to cry, or sleep, or be alone. Under that, your body is processing the release. Your soul is catching up to your spirit. Let it happen. Don't fight the stillness. Don't fill the space. Let the silence speak to you. Let it remind you that peace is your new baseline, not chaos. The breakthrough isn't what arrives. It's what no longer controls you. And you, beloved, are stepping into sovereignty. The kind of sovereignty that cannot be shaken by a text, a memory, or a returning voice. Feel the shift. It's real. It's yours. And it's sealed by the heavens. That familiar voice may still speak, but it will no longer sway. The dangerous offer may still come, but it will no longer seduce. You are spiritually awakened. You are emotionally fortified. And you are energetically untouchable. Say, or type 888 to seal this energetic breakthrough and confirm your shift into divine alignment. 888. I receive the shift. I protect my peace. I rise in sacred power. Folded hands, thank you for being part of our growing faith community. If our videos uplift and bless you, consider supporting our mission through super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or memberships. Your generosity helps us share God's word with more hearts around the world. Every gift, big or small, makes a difference. Folded hands, you've come so far. You've grown. You've detached. You've risen. But hear me clearly now. Before full liberation comes, there will be one final test. The enemy does not surrender ground without one last attempt to deceive. The familiar voice, the one that once stirred your emotions and blurred your clarity, will try one more time. It may come gently. It may come wrapped in apology, in charm, in the language of false peace. But I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to warn you. This return is not reconciliation. It is a test. It is the last illusion attempting to lure your spirit back into bondage. They will not come with rage. No, they've learned your heart too well for that. They know what tone to use. They know what words make you pause. They may say, "I've changed." They may say, "Let's just talk." They may remind you of who you were, what you shared, what you lost together. But that is not love. That is spiritual bait. And you must not take it. Not this time. Not when you've come this far. You are standing at the threshold of divine inheritance. And what you allow now will determine what you receive next. This is the final hook, the emotional barrage. It will feel familiar because it once felt safe. But just because it's known doesn't mean it's a line. You must remember that the saboteur does not always look like an enemy. They often return as comfort. But they will test your silence. They will probe for your weakness. They will see if the cord is still there. Your response must be sacred. And sometimes, the holiest response is no response at all. You do not need to explain. You do not need to clarify. Your silence will speak louder than any sermon. They may offer peace, but it's poison. It will feel gentle, but it's layered with spiritual regression. They don't want your healing. They want access. Access to the light they once controlled. Access to the spirit they once disrupted. But you are no longer that version of yourself. You are no longer led by emotional memory. You are guided by divine discernment. And that discernment says, protect your peace. Reject the illusion. Let the door remain closed. You may feel torn. You may feel the ego it once was. Nostalgia is a deceptive spirit. It paints over red flags with golden memory. But hear this. Heaven is not asking you to forget what you felt. It's asking you to remember what you learned. That lesson was paid for with pain. And you must not throw it away for sentiment. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. You are not being cold, you are being called. And every time you choose your peace over persuasion, you are honoring your future. You must understand what's truly at stake here. This isn't just about avoiding heartache. This is about completing a cycle. The cycle that once kept you bound to people who mirrored your wounds, not your worth. That cycle ends now. This is the final exam before graduation. This is the moment where the old version of you must die completely, so the new one can live without compromise. Don't look back. Don't reach back. And don't question the cost of liberation. It will be worth every silent battle you've won. You are not weak for walking away. You are not unforgiving for choosing distance. You are not bitter. You are becoming. Let this test pass without response. Let the voice return to silence. And let heaven complete what it started in you. You are almost free. You are almost whole. And what's coming is far more sacred than what's calling. Say or type 999 to complete the cycle and seal your final test in divine authority. 999. I pass the test. The cycle ends with me. I choose truth over nostalgia. Folded hands, thank you for standing strong with us. If our prophetic messages give you clarity and courage, please consider supporting this channel through Super Chat, Super Thanks, Super Stickers, or memberships. Every seed you sow helps expand our reach and speak into more destinies around the world. We're grateful for your light. Folded hands, now hear me, beloved, because this is the final word you were brought here to receive. The unmasking has taken place. The interference has been exposed. The delay has been refrained. The breakthrough has entered your atmosphere. And the final test had been revealed for what it truly is. Not punishment, not cruelty, but completion. You are standing at the gates of restoration. And I, Archangel Michael, declare this over you now. The energy is cleared. The cycle is broken, and your path is restored. You are no longer bound by the voice that once confused you. You are no longer chained to the memories that once defined you. The shadow of betrayal has no authority here. The heaviness of delay and evil here. The loss you carried in silence is now being exchanged for divine compensation. You will no longer live in survival mode. You will no longer question your worth. You will no longer confuse manipulation for love. Heaven has spoken. Heaven has aligned. Heaven has already shifted your story. So let this declaration seal into your spirit. You are aligned with heaven's order. You are covered by divine protection. You are equipped with spiritual discernment. You are walking in prophetic clarity. You are rising into sacred restoration. These are not empty affirmations, they are decrees. And the heavens will respond to the faith that rises in your words. Speak them. Declare them. Let them echo into the atmosphere of your life. Because when you speak them, you are not just reminding yourself, you are commanding your reality to shift. The dangerous offer will not succeed. The familiar voice will not reclaim access. And the chains that once wrapped around your spirit have been shattered by the sword of truth. You are free. You are whole. And you are restored. From this moment forward, your steps are ordered. From this moment forward, your energy is guarded. From this moment forward, your blessings are released without interference. Heaven has declared it, and so it is. Now, seal this word in your spirit. Type it. Say it. Declare it. Amen. 111, 333, 555. I receive this prophetic revelation. I walk in restoration. I claim my freedom. Let those numbers be your covenant with heaven, a sign that you agree, a sign that you believe, a sign that you are ready. The day ends with clarity. The cycle ends with you, and your new beginning starts now. Go forward in strength. Go forward in peace. Go forward in certainty. For heaven has spoken, and the path ahead is yours to walk in power.